Well, the weekend has came back upon us. I was wanting to get a lot more done during the week. I had to travel a lot of miles, getting home kind of late, so I just didn't get out here in the garage to do a whole lot. But we did get the AC pump on, and pretty much all I got to do now is take and put some belts on it, the fan on it, and pretty much the front will be done other than the radiator, of course. But before I do all that, we're going to put the EFI system on. But right now, once I get all that on, I'm going to be wanting to start this. So I got a few things underneath that I need to address. I've got some exhaust pipe I need to put back on, and I want to get the dry shaft put back in. And to do the dry shaft, I need to take rear knuckle off the pinion and put a seal in. So hopefully today I want to get all the exhaust finished, the rear end finished, and then we're going to start back up on the top. Let's see what kind of time it takes, but I'm going to get with it. So here we go. So first thing on the exhaust, I've got just plain the open header right here. And the reason I got to get these exhaust on, I can't start the motor because it's got to have an O2 sensor put in it. And the O2 sensor is going to go into the exhaust pipe right here. It comes out of the header. So I got to get the pipes on. I know some, like on my car, I actually put it in the header right here, but they didn't give me a weld-on bung to go in the header. They got this one that straps around the pipe, and you drill a hole in the pipe and it goes on. So I'm going to use that one, which would be out here a little bit. But we got to get our collectors on so I can get my mufflers on, or the pipe back on, hook back to the mufflers back here. And I don't know why they give me hose clamps for this, but I got a bunch of hose clamps for the header. I can't tell you why that's for, unless they're using this, because they're thinking that you're, no, I won't even go around that if you're wrapping the header. I don't know why the clamps come with it, but they give me some clamps. I bought a lot of headers. I've never seen this, but they did pretty good on this. I found out what they had the hose clamps for. They gave me the scrunchies that goes up from the header, or supposed to go up from the original exhaust. And they give me this little piece of pipe with the metal on there. So you would take two of these clamps, go around the header, and then you'd have the other two clamps would hold this from here up to the breather if I decide to put the original breather back on. So that's pretty nice. That's a good option. Something I haven't seen come with headers before. I'm going to tell you, something I've found, even with the ball type or with the gasket type. Your bolts they give you, when they come through here, they give you only this one nut. And it is shredded on the end, so it's like a lock nut and it grabs in. I've tightened these suckers down to where you start bending your bracket here, or the ring, and with the heat going on, the vibration of the motor going back and forth, when you drive it for several miles, these bolts seem like they always come loose. I've had them fall out. You hear exhaust leak start. So what I do when I'm done is I double nut them. I'll put another nut against it. That way it doesn't come back off. So I'm going to leave this just a little bit loose to where I can angle this. When I put my pipe in, I may have to angle it to put it where I need it. So on the old exhaust pipe, which is a pretty new pipe, you can tell that this went to the old exhaust manifold, so it went up and turned up. And all they did was cut it and put a pipe on there, which I think this is really rinky-dink. They should have put all new pipe when they done this. So whatever muffler shop done this, didn't do a very good job. They copped out to do the easy way about it. I've got my Sawzall. Sawzall is good for when it's on the car. If you've got to cut something off, get up in there. When it's off the car, I prefer to use my little bandsaw, handheld bandsaw. It makes such a better cut and less violent. And in my book, a lot quicker. I believe I can put mine inside of business. All right, now that we got the exhaust put back on, I got the dry shaft back in, the pinion sealed on the rear end. We're gonna lower the car back down and we're gonna start with our EFI. Now I already had opened this box because we've already gotten the gas tank and the fuel pump and all. This is stuff that the fuel filters and the fuel pump came in. And this was the box that had a lot of that stuff in it. Still have a lot of fittings because we're putting hose up top. Then to get the other box in there, this is the important part. Plus the paperwork. So this is pretty much our throttle body. That's going to house our injectors and make this car run. Now this is a direct placement for a quadrant jet. So this is a spread bore. Got the 2 big holes, 2 little holes. Very nice looking unit. All the wiring for it. Pretty much a plug and play once you put it on there. In the box also comes with a plastic plate, all your bolts to mount it. Has some more wiring, your handheld controller. You've got some brackets for your lines. And this is our O2 sensor. And this is how we're going to put our O2 sensor on. Also comes with a heat gauge. Pretty much the way this goes on is you have this plate with a hole. This is what screws into for your O2 sensor. It's going to come into here. And the way they got this down, you got a gasket, you drill a hole into your pipe. I think you have to be about 15 degrees. This goes on, then you got these 2 stainless steel clamps that's going to come on each side. And that's going to hold it in there. So we'll have to put that on, but that'll be the last thing I do before we start it. Right now we're going to get the throttle body on top of the car so we can start figuring out some of our wiring. Also we got, that's with this EFI, we bought the Hyper Spark distributor. Very nice, all aluminum, billet aluminum. With the cap, and then you got the setting cap that you put on here when we take the cap off, which we'll go over that when we install it. Pretty much this is our brain that's going to run everything with wire and harness. Control panel, ignition box is going to be running it. And then it's pretty much our coil for the Hyper Spark. Pretty good sized coil. Pretty nice little coil. And some more wiring. Keep all this wiring together. So now we're going to lower the car down on the lift here and let's see where we're going to mount this stuff. Well, the weekend's come and now it's just about to end. We worked on it pretty much all day Saturday. Now here it's Sunday evening, it's pretty much winding up. We did get a lot farther than I wanted, or not as far as I wanted to, but we got some wiring to do here. And we pretty much got everything laid out. I had to get the fender, inner fenders put back on, the front put back on. Everything up front's hooked up. I still don't have a belt for my AC pump, but that's no problem. We don't have to run that until we get this motor going. But we got all the wiring pretty much laid out where it needs to go, but I got to get it all in loom. I need to shorten some of these wires and just get some of them hooked up. A lot of them will just plug in, but I had to get them all organized because some of them ran down through on both sides. So I had to just get them all in spot. And we got to get the battery back in it. I did get all my hoses put in on the inside the box, everything run outside, so pretty much inside's pretty much finished, except for the same thing. I got a few wires I got to tuck up, zip tie, and get them out of the way. But we're getting very, very close. I mean, all I have to do really is drop the distributor in and time it. But before I do that, I'm going to prime the oil. I did make me a tool so I can prime the oil with out of the old distributor, so we've got that took care of. So at this point, it's time to wrap this up for today, and hopefully the rest of this week I'm gonna come out here after I get home from work, if it ain't too late. I'll get some of this wiring addressed and we'll get it finished up. I got everything mounted. 3 hot wires going to the battery. Got 4 ground wires going to the battery, so I got to get all of them took care of. But everything else is in, so just all this little stuff takes time. And we had really had a problem finding plug wires for this car. You can go to the parts house and get a set of plug wires. Wasn't no problem, but they're for the old style distributor that has a different type wire that goes onto the cap. You know, this one has, the new one that we have has the type like on the end of a spark plug, where the old was the old cup that goes inside the cap. So it took us a while. It was like 2 o'clock today. We had to go all the way into Daytona and finally found a set of plug wires. At all the parts house here had none. They kept saying, oh, we'll order them, get them by Tuesday. But I wanted them today. We're gonna try to get this running, but it took a lot of time from us running around doing all this. But I did get the plug wires, so we're good to go. But it's coming together. We'll get it going. So until next time, hopefully I said the time for that we're gonna see this run, but it's gonna run. I don't know how long, but we're gonna get it running. So don't forget to subscribe and to like. Until next time.